You might be wondering why I'm laying on the floor. Well, I made a camera lens, and somehow it turned into a full-blown lens system. All those things on the ground by my head are early versions of it. I'll let you see those too, I guess. Shown here, it's sporting a plastic lens out of a disposable camera. But that's just one of the thousands of options that could fit into this setup. See, every part of this lens is modular. It is designed to be torn apart, swapped, and put back together. That way, you can build it for the job at hand. So stick around and check out how I made it. See, I found the coolest little 80s point and shoot at the thrift store by my house, but there was something off about it. It just straight up didn't work. I was devastated. But wait, I remembered seeing something. I saw a product online that took a disposable camera lens and put it in a cap. Was it from Retropia or AliExpress? I'm not sure. They both look so similar, almost identical. Regardless, I knew what had to be done. And that was the birth of my fascination with ripping lenses out of cameras and putting them in other cameras. I then went on to do it again. This time, instead of printing out the entire lens, I made a base with a recess. Then I just designed a cylinder. You basically just press the cylinder into the lens cap, and it allows you to plug and play any lens you want. I could have stopped here, but I decided to take it a step further. I designed these press-fit discs that controlled the amount of light that hit my camera's sensor. I now had a system. Before I knew it, I was searching far and wide for anything I could put into my camera. I would buy bundles of cameras and photography accessories.
Look at all those cameras!
At this point, I developed something I call compulsive optical rehousing disorder, a neurological condition where the subject believes every lens, regardless of its original purpose, deserves a second chance on a Sony mirrorless camera. Everything was great. I was cranking out YouTube videos. People loved the content, but it quickly felt stale to me. How long could I take lenses and slap them into my camera and act like I was doing something different? I needed to evolve.
Hello, people. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed that intro because it was very time consuming and I'm never doing it again. Just kidding. I'll probably make more intros like that. Today we're here to talk about my modular lens system that I've been teasing on my channel for quite some time now. So thank you for your patience. First, I'm going to show you how the system works. Then we're going to talk a little bit about what needs improved on this system. And lastly, I'm going to show you what my long-term game plan is with this entire project. So buckle up and let's get started. First, we're going to talk about the lens block.
This lens block has gone through a ridiculous number of versions to get here. It's the reason this whole system works. In theory, I can adapt almost any lens from almost any point and shoot camera ever made. Disposable cameras, high-end point and shoots, vintage viewfinders, even a literal glass gem from an aquarium. Each lens block is designed to sit as close as possible to the Aperture system while preventing vignetting. That means full frame and APS-C coverage without the lens hood or aperture plates getting in the way. Right now I have a 4-element Kodak point and shoot lens adapted to the system, a disposable camera lens, a weird vintage viewfinder I ripped out of some camera, and an aquarium glass gem that somehow takes really shitty photos. Then there are the Aperture discs. These were way harder to design than they should have been. They thread onto the back of every lens block and completely change how the lens behaves.
The big challenge that I had to face with this was so here's your camera's sensor. The lens has to sit a certain distance from that sensor, and that distance changes depending on the lens that you have adapted to your system. In addition to that, you want the aperture plates to sit as close as possible to the lens. So in certain applications, that's not a problem. But in other applications, when this lens is a lot closer to your sensor, like down here, then, you have to be very mindful of how far your aperture sticks out because
You could be a little pokey with your sensor, if you know what I mean. I've tested circular apertures and shape apertures like crosses, hearts, ovals, and stars. I even made a 1mm aperture plate for long exposures. On the disposable lens, that works out to roughly f32. I also made a macro plate with a larger diameter that lets the lens sit farther from the sensor for close-up shots. I also wanted the lens itself to have a personality, so there are different focus ring textures and color options. This one's my favorite. This one's for Nikon enthusiasts. This one is for Hot Topic enthusiasts, and this one, honestly, just looks like nipples. Let me know if you have any suggestions for focus ring designs or colors. Okay, so the last piece of the puzzle for this entire system would be the base that pairs to your camera. Currently, I have this adapted to a Sony E-mount, but I'm pretty confident that I could adapt this to any modern mirrorless system pretty effortlessly. So basically, you take your lens block, you add your aperture plate to the back of your lens block, you seat that lens block into the focus ring, and then that goes into the camera like so. The same is true for any other lens block that I currently have adapted to this system. They all twist back, and then you focus off of that. All the way back, you're focusing at infinity. If you want to focus at something closer, you just loosen your setup, take your picture, tighten the bad boy up, and you are ready to go. This system is designed for people who want to take their product apart and learn about how it works and swap out the aperture discs and take cool, crazy photos. I wanted to be able to personalize this system to my liking. Green is my favorite color, and I personally like this ribbed texture. This is one of my favorite lenses. I love the focus ring on this. Why can't I get this focus ring on all lenses? Well, that's a problem that I set out to address with this system. I wanted to be able to have the option to choose. That being said, there's still a few things that I need to iron out with the system. I want to clean up the focus ring, and I need to figure out a better long-term solution for lens block mounting. I'm also exploring other lens options, but I've seriously been exploring bringing this product to market. I want other people to be able to experience it and experiment with the system just like me. So if that sounds like something that you'd actually want, make sure you head over to my brand new website, adaptedoptics.com, and sign up for my mailing list. It'll help me gauge interest. And the people on my mailing list will be the very first people to know when I open my system up for pre-orders. Also, I just uploaded a brand new video on my channel for members who want to get a little bit closer and learn a little bit more about this system, as well as see some updates for it. So if you're interested, go and check that out on my YouTube channel page. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback about my product design, drop them down below. I read every single comment. Thanks again, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Peace.